Hi, my name's Mark Tippett and I'm a caricature and portrait artist. Today I'm going to show you how I draw an eye. What we do is we take our pen, so we do 2 lines like that. The next step is we draw the top eyelid, and it needs to basically run parallel to that top eyelid shape. The next step is we draw the bottom eyelid. And then we draw the iris, a C lying on its side. The next thing we do is your black part of the eye. So what we need to do there is another C shape in the middle of the iris. And then what we need to do is consider a light source. So I'm drawing like a little sun. And that's where we can pretend where that light's coming from. So we have the iris, we have the little highlight in there. So we just draw a little circle there, joining up with our C shape in our middle of our eye. The next step from that is we colour in black. If you have a look at your own eye, you can see the shadow just under your eyelid, which is the top of that leaf shape. So what we do with our pen is we draw the shadow just under there. So we draw another line, making that top part of our leaf shape, our almond eye, we make that thicker. And now we have the makings of an eye. And next we need to draw some eyelashes. The technique is a flick approach. So don't drag the pen across, you need to loosely hold the pen and flick. And we flick away like that, just little strokes like that. And as we're getting towards the corner of the eye, the strokes become smaller. So next we draw the bottom eyelashes, and a tip I have is turn the page upside down to do that. And then we do the same strokes, flicking as we did the top. Shorter strokes. For the eye to come out, we want to do 3D technique. So what I like to use is pastel. And on the eyeball, on the inside, we do a stroke on the inside like a C. That's one stroke that we do, and you can use your index finger just to smudge that, to soften it, and it gives a shadow-like appearance. And the next one I like to do is just under that top eyelid where we made that line quite thick, we just pop one underneath that as well, which gives that shadow just underneath that top eyelid. And that's how I draw an eye.
So my tip for today is piping bags. They're great for decorating cupcakes. If you don't have one at home, I'm going to show you how to make one out of baking paper. So we need a square piece, just like this one. We're going to fold it in half to make a triangle. Just go ahead and do that. Now, I'm going to put my finger in the center and start to roll. Now you want to press it down towards the edge, just here, just so that you close off the hole and you have control of the hole to actually cut it later. So we'll just go ahead and roll that. There we go. See, now I've made too much of a big hole here, so I'm just going to try and squeeze it a little and push it closer together. So I'll just twist it and twist it. And there you go. There's your piping bag. I'm just going to fold it down a little bit so it doesn't fall apart, and that's it. It's best to make it right when you need it, otherwise when you put it down, you've got no piping bag. Coming up a bit later, I'm going to make these sunflower cupcakes with the yummy ladybugs.
I'm Kat and I'm a nail artist, and today I'll be showing you how to do a rainbow on your nail. What you're going to need is some clean cotton, some nail polish remover, a variety of different coloured nail polishes, a base coat, a top coat, and a striper brush, which is like a thin nail polish brush. And also, you're gonna need a hand. So first I'm gonna clean the nail with a cotton pad and some nail polish remover, get all the dirt off. Next I'll be applying a base coat, and that's just gonna help the nail from staining. And of course, wait for it to dry. So the first color I'll be using is a purple for the bottom of the rainbow. Make sure that you clean your striper brush between each color so they don't get the colors mixed up. And I'm just doing a thin line across the bottom of the nail. And you just got to remember to keep cleaning your brush between the colors. Next I'll be using the blue. And I'm just doing another thin line across underneath the purple. Now next is green. So we're just layering each color across to get the perfect looking rainbow. And now orange, then the red, and finishing with the yellow. If you make any mistakes, you can easily just clean up the edges with a wooden stick and some cotton. To finish it off, you'll need the nail polish to be completely dry. Use a top coat to keep it lasting longer and to give it a glossy finish. Nailed it!
Someone is always taking my mug, but I've come up with a way to let everyone know it's mine. To make your own personalised mug, you're going to need some oil-based markers, some stickers, a plain ceramic mug, oven mitts or tea towel, an oven tray, and of course an oven. Let's get started. Now, ceramic mugs have a curved surface, so it can be really hard to draw freehand. So I'm going to stick some stickers on with my initials and trace around them. These stickers don't hold on very well, so we're just going to do one at a time. I'm just going around the edge of the sticker to get a clean outline. Now I'm going to peel the sticker off and start filling it in. All right, now I'm going to repeat with the P. Now I'm not going to actually use my mug as a drinking mug. I'm going to put some paintbrushes in it. But if you do, make sure that you make your design halfway down because you don't want to be putting your mouth on a permanent marker. And again, I just traced around the sticker and I'm filling it in. There we go, it's all filled in and finished. Now for the final step with an adult, go and put your cup in an oven for 30 minutes at 250 degrees. It's that easy. Time to go and get creative and personalise your own mug.
I'm going to show you how to make bugs you can actually eat. Ladybugs to be specific, and some sunflower cupcakes to put them on. Now, you will need some chalk chips, your food dye, yellow, red and black, a palette knife, 2 piping bags, some extra baking paper, your cupcakes of course, buttercream icing, icing sugar, a bowl and a whisk, scissors, 1 egg, and a separate bowl to separate your eggs. Now let me show you how to do that. So we'll grab our bowl and our egg. We'll keep the spare one handy as well. So we'll give it a crack. Oh, careful not to get the shells in. And I'm just gonna put the egg yolk from one shell to the other to try and maneuver all of it out of there. And if you get shells in there, don't worry, we can fish them out. Now, we're going to add our icing sugar. Just pop that in, just a little bit at a time. Grab our whisk and start whisking away. You'll actually be able to add a surprising amount of icing sugar. It's funny how far the egg spreads. So we'll just keep adding. Let's just add that whole lot actually. Because if you do add too much, you can thin it out by putting a bit of lemon juice. And we'll just have a bit of a lemony flavour, which is actually really nice. I think that's looking pretty good. See how it's stuck inside the whisk? I think that's about right. So now I've got to separate. So we'll grab a spoon. We only need a little bit because it's for the black dots. So I'll just do that. I'll grab another spoon to dye it. So we'll add the red. Now feel free to add a fair bit of red because we want it to be quite bright. So I'll give that a turn. So that looks pretty good, I think. Now we can put it in our piping bag. Grab that. So you want to hold it probably around the middle without squeezing, so that way it doesn't fall apart. So I'll just grab a bit, try not to get it everywhere, and I'll just let it drizzle in by itself. Fold the top. And I'll push it down. See if there is a hole. Oh, teeny tiny. That's all right, that's good. So I'm gonna cut just a bit of a bigger hole. I'm gonna cut probably about, I don't know, 2 mils or so. See how that goes. If you need to cut a bigger hole, you can go ahead and do that. So we're gonna get our spare baking paper, and we're gonna squeeze out a few little ladybugs. Just like that. We just like to make little ovals or little circles. And we'll squeeze that. If you find it's coming out too slow, just make the hole a little bit bigger. So these are usually best made the night before, so that way it'll dry before you do the black dots. So to preserve the icing, I just put a bit of plastic wrap on top of it so that it doesn't go hard. So that way you are ready to go the following day. Okay, so they're nice and dry because you can pick them up. Now let's do the black part. I'll grab the icing that I have previously covered and is still quite movable, and I'm going to add my black food dye. Just pop a couple of dots in there. I like to use gels rather than the liquid kind. It doesn't change the consistency of my icing. Don't worry if it looks a bit grey, it'll dry dark. So I'm going to make another piping bag. So we'll fold into a triangle, put our finger in the centre, fold to the centre also, and roll. And then I'm going to fold up the top, and we're ready to go again. Add my black icing. Just give that top bit a squeeze to see if we have a hole. We do, there we go. Which is good because I don't think we need to make a bigger hole because we're doing more of a fiddly bit. So first I'm going to do the little head. I'm going to do the centre line down the body, and then the dots. So the dots you don't even have to squeeze out. I'm just going to dab it. You do as many dots as you like. There you go. Fabulous. Now I might do the rest. Make as many ladybugs as you want. A bit later, we're going to make the sunflowers for our bugs to decorate. Earlier in the show, we made some cute little edible ladybugs. And now, with your leftover icing and some choc chips, we're going to make some sunflowers to put them on. Start by getting some plain store-bought cupcakes. Next, grab your icing from earlier. And now it's time to ice our cupcakes. But first, let's add some yellow food dye. So we'll go ahead and grab that. Add a couple of dots, or a few dots. I like to be quite generous with it. And make it nice and bright. That's quite fluoro, this one. I kind of want it to be a little bit of a burnt yellow. I'm going to add the tiniest amount of red. I might add it on the side. I'm going to add that in, so it's not so fluoro. There we go, you can see it changing already. More like the sun. Cool, looking good. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is grab my palette knife and spread it in the center of the cupcake. So I'm doing this because I wanna stick my chocolate dots on first. I'm just gonna throw some in the middle, and then I'm gonna try and make it as neat as possible. Keep going until I get just a bit closer to the edge. I want to cover up as much yellow as I can. We don't really want to see the yellow in the center. Looking good. I think we're ready to pipe. Today I'm using a piping bag with a nozzle that has a patterned edge. If you don't have this, that's fine. You can use the piping bags that I showed you how to make. Just cut the holes a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and do that. But first, I'm going to cut my edge so that my tip will fit. Okay, I think that just about fits. That'll do. Now let's put the icing in. Grab some icing. Okay, so what I like to do is give it a bit of a shake so that it falls down as much as I can before I squeeze it. I'm gonna push it all down towards the edge. Then I'm gonna do a bit of a practice. Okay. I like to squeeze and then slowly drag it out so that you get a nice little tip, and just turn as you go. If you do a little mistake like, oh, I didn't pull out so much like that one, you can just go over the top of it and fix, or you can wipe it off and start again. Whatever you prefer. I'll just show you how to do that again. We'll just squeeze at the bottom and slowly pull out. We'll just keep going round and round. Squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull. Looking good. My sunflower is so happy. So now let's pop on our ladybugs. We'll just put the tiniest bit of icing underneath, just so that they stick. So you can put them anywhere on the flower. I'm gonna put it right on the side. And there you have it. There you go, sunflower. Go join the garden.
Hi, my name's Vernon Guest. I'm the producer of major outdoor events at the Sydney Festival. The Sydney Festival is a multi-arts festival. We present dance, theatre, music programs and large visual arts installations every January in Sydney. It's not just traditional kind of painting. These kind of interactive exhibitions are a big part of contemporary art at the moment. I absolutely love my job. I get to curate and program and then help deliver major art installations like the beach. It's an amazing installation. It really does reflect an experience in Australia that nearly all of us know, spending a day at the beach, but it does it in an alternate way. It makes us think a little bit more about how lucky we are to have extraordinary landscapes and also access to extraordinary artworks like this. Great artworks and installations really come together because we engage with a really broad demographic of people, so young kids, older people, families, but also it's about reflecting a city, it's about enjoying what's happening here, it's about, creating works that kind of people can engage with instantly, no matter what their background is. The most difficult part of these kind of projects and my role is the logistics. It takes a lot of extraordinary people to pull a project like this off and a really long lead time. So we spend usually a little over 12 months working on a project like this. We had to bring all of these balls from the US, assemble an amazing team to help us construct and then deliver a massive artwork like this. Working with artists is always a joy. It's why I do this job. It is certainly, I find, the fun part of the work, other than jumping in giant ball pits, of course, but working with artists is really fantastic. It's challenging. A lot of artists are here to encourage us to think more and engage with the world around us. So they often challenge me as a producer to kind of push the boundaries of what I can do in my role as a producer. But at the end of the day, it is a lot of fun. We get to work with some of the most amazing artists. I absolutely love my job. My office for today is a giant ball pit. Really, you can't get much more fun than this.